Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sarah Jane. This is Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls on Gift of Healing TV, and I am delighted to be joined by Tina Hull. Tina, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Pleased to be here. Thank you.
And we're coming from different parts of the world. I'm in the UK, which is why the morning, afternoon, and evening. And Tina, you're on Nevis?
Yes, so a small Caribbean island.
So yes, I love this, the fact that technology allows us to be able to have these conversations, but it also enables us to for our topic this evening, distance healing expanded. And it was a conversation you and I had when we met a few weeks back.
Yes.
And we were talking about distance healing, and not just the likes of Reiki and energy healing,
Right.
but also other techniques that. And I also had a conversation with somebody else, and they'd sort of said, yes, their chiropractor in Canada was able to do distance sessions, and it was just like, and I'd realized that I could do with some of the things that I do. And then you were saying that you also have found that you can. So maybe we ought to start with a little bit on energy healing to a certain degree, because actually I think I don't know about you, but I think all of it in its own unique way is about energy.
Of course.
Isn't it? Yes. So over to you for a minute.
Yeah, so everything is energy, whether it's my hair, my shirt, my words, my thoughts, my feelings, intentions, it's all energy. So it's like someone walks into a room and some heads turn and all of a sudden it's about the presence of that particular person. It's the energy that they carry and bring with them. So it follows us wherever we go. So I remember after one massage session with one of my clients who had never had a massage before, and she said, Tina, that was so much more than just a massage, because I bring me and my energy. And so she is a Reiki healer. So she was very aware of what else she was experiencing and feeling. Not everybody's as sensitive to it as some, but it's something, it's part of who we are, and it's what we bring to the table. One of my coaches calls it an energetic signature. So how do we leave people when we're in their presence, and how do we leave them when we're out of their presence? So energy can be transferred and given and received, and it's just amazing. I can talk forever about it.
Oh, but also it's that there's the reverse side of that energy, isn't it? Where you feel absolutely exhausted having been with somebody. So they are sort of what they refer to as energy vampires. Yes. So you've got to realize there are many sides to energy.
Of course.
But obviously the energy we're talking about is that energy that is offered to people to support them. Now, I personally am a great believer that I can't heal anybody. I know people would label me as a healer, but I very much feel there's only one person I can heal, that's me.
Right.
What we bring, the energy that we bring, is an energy that empowers the individual's own self-healing.
Yes.
So it's a support.
Agreed.
And I love that. I really do. And the intention for me should always be that the individual takes what is right for them to where is right for them.
Yes.
That it is not for me to say, here's the energy and you've got to take it at that particular point, that's what you need it for, etc. I don't know that individual, and sometimes the people themselves don't know where's the important level or place
for
that energy to go to. But the body, the higher self, if you want to use that, does know.
Yeah. And so I resisted for a long time being called a healer, because I felt it was coming from a higher power. It was coming to me and through me. And then I was giving it out as a part of my gifts to the world. And so when one of my business coaches would get me to say, you know, what is the result you want them to have? And it's like, yeah, but I can't, because whatever the body needs it will receive, and it will get. And so they heal where they need to heal, they get released where they need to get released. I'm just the conduit for it.
Yeah.
So I struggle, and I still do to this day, actually telling you definitively that it can do this and this. There's some patterns, and I know that it can help with a lot of different things, but it's not. I've had clients on my table who came to me with physical pain, and they end up crying partway through because it's emotional pain that's causing physical pain. So it's a really tricky situation when we have to define what it actually does, because the truth is we all can heal ourselves. And I am just like I said, a conduit for the healing, and whatever your body needs is what you're going to get.
Yeah. And the way I've put it with some people is, you know, sort of, you think this is what needs dealing with. Mm-hmm. And where we end up by working could be right down here on the bottom of your list. But by working on this down here, which your body says, no, this is where I'd like it, this is for me,
yeah.
It actually helps that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I started. And then, because I now find that with the energy work that I do and bring, that I can get to a deep cellular memory level, I find that I'm helping people to reconnect with younger self.
Yeah.
And that is where the hurt and trauma is. And exactly, sometimes people say, no, we would like actually some of the vocal Reiki, but can we have it on a physical level, please? And I'm like, well, you can, but as you've just said, it always ends, but with that, it always ends up on an emotional level.
Yeah.
Because the physical is the body telling you that there's an emotional to be dealt with.
Yes. Yeah.
That it hasn't been.
Yeah. So generally speaking, what happens is we get into these fight and flight situations. So that's part of our nervous system, and it's your sympathetic nervous system. Our bodies should be able to bring it down to a rest and digest, or the parasympathetic nervous system. A lot of times, if it's in a consistent basis, or is such a traumatic situation, then it gets locked into the cells at a cellular level. And that's not something you can undo physically, even with hands-on. A lot of times it has to be the energetic in order for that to be released. So it's so multi-layered, and it can go back into generations. It can go back into karmic levels and into DNA even, and releasing at all levels. So it's so powerful, but it's important for people to realize that you, like you're saying, Sarah Jane, may come in for thinking this is the problem, but your body has another idea. It's a core belief or a core trauma that's locked in. And if you're open, then both of them will be taken care of.
Oh, absolutely. And but that's why it is important for us as practitioners to hold the highest good intention, rather than say, right, you've got a sore shoulder, we'll work on that. Or you've got a bad hip, or you've got a bad knee, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's also something for people to be aware of, that where is that energy? Where are you holding that energy? I remember being in a fair one time, it was a mind, body, spirit fair. And somebody was wandering around, and they got this on crutches, got something around their knee. And I just looked at her and I just said, is there something you're not moving on from? She said,
Mm.
how did you know? And I'd
Mm.
never met her before. And it was just like, because you got a problem with your knee. You know, and it is depending on what's going on in where in your body. Yeah,
Mm.
ankles, knees, and hips are pretty classic examples of sort of not moving forward. You know, something in your life, or letting go of something so that you can move forward. But neck and shoulders, what are you holding on to for other people? You're
Right.
taking on other people's energies. Just let it go, and sort of it will make a huge difference. But also, I suppose, potential that you are holding on to. The things that you're not letting go for yourself.
Right.
Throat. If you're
Mhm.
having throat problems, what are you not saying?
Right.
Ears, what are you not listening to? Eyes, what are you not seeing? And
Mhm.
so it is really beautiful that that is out there for those who are open to it. But it was just her reaction. How did you know? It was just like, well, actually, it's quite simple.
Yeah.
When you open to these things.
Yeah.
And I think, but it's almost, yeah, I suppose this is where potentially the name witch came from in the past. You could just look at something and you can say, okay, this, it's just like, but okay, you think of reflexologists,
Mhm.
and just by having a go at the feet, I've experienced reflexology, I don't do it, but what's going on? And they can tell you whether you've had this, that, and the other, and it's just like, it's amazing. It's not witchcraft, it is just a knowledge of the body and the
Yeah.
knowledge of the feel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And willingness to be open to possibilities.
yeah,
And so, as practitioners, Sarah Jane, you and I hold the highest knowing that the person can heal themselves and they can be healed.
yeah,
So, I never go into a treatment thinking, oh gosh, I don't think I can help this person. There's never a thought that I can't, because I choose to believe I can. Um, and I believe that the person can be helped because they've showed up and they want help. So it's important for us to understand that we are part of the healing process. And for us to expect the people that we work with to heal us, we are part of the process, but we are not only part of the process.
yeah,
So it's important for us as the client or the patient to be willing and open to do their part, whether that's drinking more water, stretching,
yeah.
doing some exercises, being more positive in life, whatever the case is, we are always responsible in co-creating.
Oh yes, if the person you have gone to makes a suggestion, listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the majority of us doing this work, we are coming from that place where we've actually helped ourselves. We've
Mm-hmm.
gone through our own healing journey.
Yes.
And therefore, the suggestions that we make are the suggestions of those things that have worked for us.
Yeah, or other clients.
Yeah. And so it is, but we're not saying, as somebody said to me once many years ago, here, take my advice, I'm not using it. And when that was said to me, that really stuck,
Yeah.
because she said, we are all very good at giving people advice, but not following it ourselves.
Sure.
So I don't give advice.
Mm.
I make suggestions. Well, I know what happens when somebody says, here's a bit of advice for you. Back goes up and I'm not listening.
Right.
Because I get that about myself. But
Right.
also going back to this, you can help everybody. We can, but again, it is staying detached from what that help may be.
Yes.
And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm thinking about my dad.
Mm.
My dad had 4 different types of cancer, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and we lost him about 9.5 years ago.
Mm.
And working with him, with the Reiki, with the sound energy, the toning that I do, it was amazing. what it helped him with, the swelling and everything that he was getting in his legs.
Mm-hmm.
But I stayed away from it curing him.
Right.
It was not about a cure. I suppose that when I was taught Reiki, it was very much a matter of, you cannot heal somebody if it is not it. Because I'm a great believer in, we have made choices prior to coming to us.
Of course.
And we cannot take those choices away.
Right.
And so it's a matter of, it is not a matter of, that person's got cancer, I'm going to work on them and I am going to take that cancer away. That is not how I work.
Right.
There are times that the energy you offer supports people with the experience.
Yes.
It doesn't take the experience. It can help make the experience slightly easier to cope with.
Right.
But it doesn't take the experience away.
Right.
And I totally accepted that. And I've had that people coming to me, oh, will you work on my cat? Will you work on my dog? They've got this. And I said, it might just help them to go quicker. Oh, I don't want that.
Right.
Well, it's stopping them from suffering. Actually, yeah. And my cats, when I had the cats, they adored it. They always help themselves. But with my dad, it helped with some of the aspects. But actually, it was a couple of weeks before he died, and I was working with him, and suddenly I just got this knowing that I was allowed to attune him to the Reiki. No training, nothing, because he wasn't going to be using it on anybody else anyway.
Right.
But attune him so that he could open the channel for himself every time he went for a sleep. And his reaction was, are you sure you can do it? I said, I wouldn't have had the thought. I know I wouldn't have had the thought if I wasn't allowed to.
Right.
I trust that. And he said, I won't remember how to open the channel. I said, oh, you will. I promise you, you will. And so he said, okay, if you would like, yeah, that's fine. So I tuned him and I showed him how to open the channel. And the day before he died, I was with him. And I walked into the room. He was lying on the bed and he raised his hands in prayer position and he just kept repeating the opening of the channel. And he repeated it and repeated it and repeated. And for me, that was a prayer of, let this be over. Either I'm well and I can live life, or let me go home.
Right.
And if the Reiki helped him to do that,
yeah,
he died the following morning at 11 o'clock. I also gave him permission to leave because his mother died when he was 5, so he was desperate to be with his mum because of what he was going through. He didn't want to leave mum and his 3 daughters, but the state he was in with what he was going through, that wasn't fair on him.
Right.
And it wasn't fair on everybody else.
Sure.
So I think what we have to realize is that is why it is so important that we stay detached when we are offering the energy.
Right.
However that energy may be, whether it is Reiki, whether it is sound, whether it is many of the other techniques that are available that are all about energy. But the reason we started all of this, I know we've got into this, and I feel it was really important that we did go into this aspect of what can be done distance, is because at the beginning of the lockdown here in the UK last year, in March 2020, so depending on when people are watching this, if they're not watching live, I do Indian head massage. It's one of the techniques that I do use.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? I can do this and send it. I would do it as a video, very much as we're doing this program now, so that people could watch if they wanted to. And I thought, okay, I have a lovely big teddy bear. And I actually do. I have the teddy bear on a chair here. And I actually do the Indian head massage. to the teddy bear.
Right.
While the person is actually lying down. So they don't even have to sit in a chair. They can lie down. And yes, I do use the Reiki as a carrier, if you like,
Right.
for the energy of the Indian head massage.
Right.
And those that have had the courage to try it have all felt it, which is beautiful. Whoops. So right, these things happen. We're live. I love it. And so, but those who have said, oh, okay, yes, please, I really would like to try that because we're missing coming and having the Indian head massage with you on a monthly basis or whatever. And it works. There is another technique I will not name because they don't actually like the idea that it can be done distance. But I have actually shared that one distance, which I have not attached through the Reiki because it can't be used with anything else. So, and I honor that every time.
Right.
But again, that was felt without using Reiki as a carrier, for want of a better word.
Sure.
But you've also talked, because this was the conversation we were having, you've also talked about the fact that there are hands-on techniques that you use that you found that you can do distance.
Yes. So I do a couple of different energy techniques. There's one that's called cranial sacral therapy, and that I usually have done in my clinic on face-to-face clients. It's a very subtle work, and 3 years ago, I just had this thought that it could be done through the screen. And I tested it on people who agreed, and they allowed me to work with them and got amazing results. And so it's about the intention. Most of the time, even with reflexology, even though you're touching, it's about the intention. So my intention and your intention, I'm sure, Sarah Jane, is always to help people feel better at the end. And if you're open to receiving that, then you can. The other thing I've also done is worked with some of my massage clients, and I guide them through doing certain things, neck and shoulders, even on their legs, teaching them, guiding them how to help themselves, even though I can't touch them. So it's the possibilities are really endless when you're open to believing and receiving, and it doesn't have to be hands-on, which is really so amazing to me. But it's like the internet. Like, how awesome is it that I'm in the Caribbean, you're in the UK, some of our viewers are probably spattered across Europe, maybe some in US and Canada, and it does not have to be limited. So it's just amazing to me.
And I think it is beautiful. It's like, chuck the box away. It doesn't exist.
Yes.
And I've got a sort of friend, and he's a little bit, I'm not sure he's comfortable with the energy work that I do. Let's just put it that way. Although I do remember on one occasion using the toning, and he said the following day, "Oh, could you do a bit more of that?" And then he forgets he's even said that in the past. It's like, no, you can't help me. And I'm thinking, yeah, all right, fine, I'll step away from this because if you don't wish to have it, I'm not doing it. But I offer. But apparently there's, and I don't know anything about the author. I don't know about but he said, oh, some of what you do could actually become, quite accepted. And I'm thinking it's actually quite accepted already, but never mind. Sound is becoming very, very accepted. And he said, but it's to do with string theory and vibration. And I thought, oh yeah, great. I don't know about the string theory bit, but string theory apparently is vibration.
Yes.
What are we? We are vibration. Sound is a vibration. Our aches, our pains, our ailments, our illnesses are our vibration out of sync.
Right.
with the right energy, the vibration of the right energy, and okay, sound very definitely, it can literally pull your vibration back into sync.
Yeah.
And that is, it's all about the vibration.
Yeah, and what's so awesome about all of this is there's science behind it. It's not just woo woo, and it's not out there. And I was talking to my business coach the other day, and one of my clients had said this the other day. She said, Tina, I tried science, it didn't work. I tried counseling, it didn't work. I tried piecing both of them together, it didn't work. So now I'm in the land of woo. And she said, and it's working. So she has felt the results, and it is not, we are all energy, everything is energy, and it's at the core of us. So it's at the cellular level, it's at the DNA level, it's at every level of our bodies and our beings and all around us. So it only makes sense to harness the power of energy to actually then help realign us and put our life force energy back into balance so that we could live strong, healthy, divine lives. It just makes sense to me, but it's taken me a while too. I mean, I'm a very science-based person. So when she said it, the land of woo, I was like, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, okay, but I don't consider myself woo-woo. So it was really hard for me to wrap my brain around, but it makes sense because it's not traditional.
Though I have a real problem with that, because actually, as my father once said to me, he said, actually, all the herbs, etc., etc., and even a lot of what you do has been around an awful lot a lot longer than modern medicine, which is now classed as traditional.
Yeah, fair enough. And there was it phased out.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's not considered traditional and norm anymore. But we really, well, we don't have to, but it's important for us to realize that a lot of these things have been around for such a long time. Yeah. And going the most natural way is that you are the person and the being and the conduit for these energies that can heal. I have a client who is disabled, and she's got multiple health issues, and she has to walk with crutches. We have done 3 sessions in a week and a half. And she was able, for the first time ever, and she's in her 40s, walk down the street without the crutches with the support of her husband. First time ever. So it is so powerful because it's tapping into our power, our body's power. And how much better can that get?
Oh, absolutely. So really what I would say to folks is be prepared to think outside the box. Mm-hmm. Chuck the darn thing away.
Yeah.
Because the possibilities, when the gentleman I was talking to talked about the fact that he was going to have a distance chiropractic session, it was just like, and then having conversation with you and knowing what I've discovered I can do, then it's just like, okay. And then I was having conversation with somebody else only the other day, and they were talking about it, and it was just like, yes. And so I thought, I've got to have, and so thank you for joining me for this, because this conversation is to be had.
Yes.
It is to be shared. And I appreciate that some people will find it fairly quickly. Some people may not find it for a while. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All I would say is be open. For me, and I don't know about you, but for me, there are 3 aspects to Obviously, this very much counts if you're going to somebody. So maybe some of this doesn't count to a certain degree. But there are 3 aspects to a session if you're physically going to somebody.
Yeah.
And the first of those is, does the individual you are going to, the practitioner, do they resonate with you?
Right.
How do they feel to you? Because I get it. I know I'm not right for everybody. You know, I get that.
Yeah.
The room that you're in, so the therapy room, do you feel comfortable in it? So if you don't feel comfortable with the practitioner, if you don't feel comfortable in the room, you will get something from the technique.
Yeah.
But you may never be aware of what that is.
Right.
Because the 2 important aspects are missing.
Right.
I've had people I've talked to, and I've said, oh, have you ever tried a massage of any sort? And they've said, yes. Did you enjoy it? No, I hated it. Why? Because it hurt.
Yeah.
Wrong practitioner. But once somebody's felt that pain and that discomfort, trying to get them to go to somebody who could be the right person for them can be really difficult. So again, I would say, be open. So for distance, the room, you've got to obviously find somewhere in your own home that is quiet, calm, and relaxing. But that's in your control.
Right.
The practitioner you're working with is important. If they don't feel right to you, then it has to be somebody else.
Yeah.
You will get the most from the technique, the practice, when all the bits are right.
Yeah, 100%. And so when I have a lot of visitors, so because we're on an island, we have a lot of people who come from the US, the UK, or Canada, and they're here for the winter. And a lot of them love coming to see me and sometimes don't even see anybody wherever they end up going home because they don't want to either try to find someone or they can't find someone, whatever the case is. And what I always recommend is having a conversation with somebody to see if you've got a connection and to feel them out. Ask them questions, legitimate questions. So I usually give people a list of questions that they can ask. You know, how long have they been in practice? What kind of results have they gotten? Are they familiar with what you are experiencing or have? Had they had good results with people who have had? So we have to own our health and we have to be our own advocates. And it's just like being at a doctor's. And a lot of us, unfortunately, do not ask questions at the doctor's office either. And they should. And so, and my mom was one of them. Like, she would just tune out. It didn't matter even if the doctor was giving her the information. She just didn't hear a thing because she was under the impression that the practitioner was more knowledgeable than her. So she went into almost like a girl situation where she was just in fear and blocked everything out. So know that we are coming from the highest intentions, and our desire is to help. But as Sarah Jane said before, we're not for everybody, and you may not be for us. Maybe you don't fit what we think we can help you with, or we don't feel the energy from you either. So it's our job also to make sure that we're a good fit. And if we're not, then we can refer you on to somebody else or recommend a different treatment or whatever the case is. So that's why when there's conversations that we're encouraging you to pick up the phone or email us back and forth or messages back and forth or having phone calls like this on a Zoom call or whatever, and just get to know each other a little bit, because we are part of this equation. And you are part of the equation, and together we can become part of the solution.
Oh, absolutely. And I know it's not easy to find the right person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a friend very sweetly offered to give me an Indian head massage, and it was just, don't ever touch me again. That was not for me at all. Well, I work very gently. You know, and I remember one person, she sort of came and had an Indian head massage from me. She said, at the end of it, she said, when you first started, I didn't think that was going to do anything for me. She said, oh, but that was lovely.
Yeah, so we also underestimate the lack of pressure, the lack of pain. So there, somewhere along the way, we have this notion there should be pain to get gain. And the truth is the body does not want pain. You're trying to get it out of pain. So the less is better, actually. And I know it sounds strange. And some of my clients won't even do the energy work because they have to feel it.
Yeah.
And truth be told, energy work you can actually feel. You can feel the releases. You can feel the where the person is working on you if you're in tune, and then some people can't, and that's okay. You don't have to feel it, but you can. My daughter has had many massage and some cranial sacral therapy here in the clinic, and she went away for 6 months to be in Florida for her tennis, and so she had this stabbing back pain, and she was just, Mom, please do something. So I did the energy work through the computer, and she could physically feel where I was working. And she was telling me, I wasn't prompting her. I wasn't even telling her where I was. I was just, and I was amazed because it's fun when they've had both experiences, and I hadn't had that yet. So by the end of it, she felt the release and she felt so much better. So it can happen for you. It's just, again, everybody's different. Some people feel it, some people don't, and it's okay if you don't. But if you trust that our intention is to help you, then it doesn't matter, because your body will experience a level of change that you're not aware of.
Yeah, and you don't have to feel. I'm one of these people who doesn't feel anything. Don't feel anything. Don't see anything. Don't hear anything. I am just totally in trust,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that, because when I offer the energy, I know it is going where the individual requires it most, and I am not involved in it. Yes, I'm human, and I love to hear their comments and their feedback and to hear an outcome. Yes, I do. Because that is brilliant.
Yeah.
But I don't have to.
Yeah.
I like to.
Yeah.
But I don't have to.
And so the truth is that when people give you feedback, it's only a guide anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why when people come in and tell you where the issue is, it's a guide.
Yeah.
When I was in massage therapy school, we were taught to treat the full body, left to right, back and front. We were never taught to treat a body part. And so I had this woman come in to me, and she actually was struggling with insomnia. And I did some of the cranial work on her because she had a colleague of hers come in and I had helped her. And by doing the work on her, we actually discovered that the reason why she was having issues is because her right hip had been out of alignment due to a motorcycle accident that she was thrown off of 18 years before. And so the pain intensified because that's what needed to be released. And within 3 sessions, she was sleeping better, feeling better, pain gone, and she had her wiggle back. So, you know, we often, we are determining what we need, and unfortunately sometimes our body has another idea.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the time. And that's why I sort of, my encouragement to people always is, and especially when it's, can we work on something physical, please? And it's just like, we've ended up in something emotional. And we trust that. We get it because we've had it happen so many times. And so, folks, I really do hope that the conversation Tina and I have just had will support you to be open to energy, to be open to the fact that there are those people who, with the physical practices and techniques, are very open to offering that energy without you being right there in front of them in the room, but having to put hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Could I offer an Indian head massage without doing it to the teddy bear? Possibly. Just by holding the energy of offering it.
Right.
But I do it on the bear so that if somebody wants to watch and see what I am doing, mm-hmm. that I am actually physically doing something, it can make them feel more comfortable mm-hmm. with that. With the other technique as well, move the camera so that it was possible for them to see what was being done. Mm-hmm. But once you become aware that and are comfortable with the practitioner is doing what they say they're doing, that you can relax, close your eyes, and just allow the flow of that energy that is being offered to you. Mm-hmm. And that is what it is about, isn't it? It's energy that is offered and your body saying, yes, please, but it's also allowed to say, no, thank you.
Yes.
We aren't saying, I'm giving it to you, you're going to take it. Mm-hmm. We're saying, here, it is your choice.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And also know that as a practitioner, we're also not limited anymore. We can throw out the box that just because we can't touch our clients, that we just leave them stranded and without any assistance. If you need to maybe look at another modality, you can, but most oftentimes it can be translated online because, again, it's the intention. So you can guide your clients through certain processes, stretches, and movement exercises so that they're actually getting the benefit, and you can release their headache and their migraine and their neck tension and leg tension. It doesn't matter where it is, as long as they can touch their own physical bodies, or they can use a tool or have a partner work with them so that person helps relieve the issue. You can still guide them, and it's good for them, and it's still good for you because you're still practicing. So, you know, it's important for us on both sides of the equation to know that we can still help our people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that nobody has got to be out there deserted.
Yeah, and so what I often say is we're not meant to live in pain. Pain is a signal. It's telling us there's something wrong. Do not ignore it. Take heed to it. Do something about it. The reason why, in my opinion, in my experience, that we have cancers, conditions, diseases, is because we ignore it for too long. And it gets locked into our bodies, and we're not hearing the quiet whisper. So we need the loud shout.
Yeah.
So why get to that point in the first place? Do something now, be preventative, take care of yourself, take care of your body. It's the only one you have.
Yeah.
And we take our cars to the maintenance every 3 to 6 months because it wants to get it from A to B. So why aren't we taking care of our bodies like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, Tina. It's been great to have this conversation, and I really do hope it supports people that sort of listen to it. I really do. And and if there's practitioners listening thinking, oh, can we do this as well?
Yes.
Providing your intention is the purest intention.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely no reason why you can't.
Yeah.
Trust and believe in yourself, in the energy that you work with. That's all we can ask, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you're not sure, then reach out to Sarah and I, and we can help guide you through it. I've had a couple of practitioners message me, and I've helped them figure it out. So it's very possible. And it's just sometimes a matter of confidence and getting used to using it in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, Tina's information is on the Gift of Healing TV website on the About Us page, so you can read about sort of Tina there and connect her. If you're watching the YouTube video, I will make sure that Tina's website address, etc., is underneath so that you can read that, or so you can connect with her. And I'll put my stuff there as well. But sort of, that's always on the Gift of Healing TV website. So please feel free to connect with us, or if you're aware of somebody else doing it and you wish to connect with them, do. Most of us aren't precious about what we do. It's really important, certainly to me, and I'm sure it is to Tina, the fact she's sharing here, is that the more of us that open ourselves to being able to do this, the more people we can help. Yes. And that at the end of the day is what we really wish to do, is help others. So
100%.
Yeah, thank you. Right, on Friday, there's a Today's Conversation, Another World Awaits, inviting hope, compassion, and possibilities in times of conflict and change. And Enola and I are joined by Ben Karen. So I hope you'll join us for that. And next Wednesday, I'm going to be sharing a meditation, connecting your heart and soul. So I hope you will join me for that. Tina, thank you so very much. I'm sure you and I will speak again at some time, but it's been great having you on the program. And thank you for so participating in this conversation.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
That's a pleasure. Love, peace, and light, folks. Take care. Be safe. Stay well. Namaste.
Namaste.